Hello everyone, so in this video I'm going to talk about why did the protest stop from the fan groups, because I've seen a lot of people talking about it. Off the back of the Man City loss, obviously it's not just because of the Man City loss, but people are starting to ask the questions again, and because of the way this January transfer window has been going. So look, it's funny, it's a fickle old game, isn't it, football? Off the back of a defeat was 99 times out of 100 going to happen anyway. Didn't disgrace ourselves. I've shared my thoughts on the City loss. But there was a tweet I saw, which I'm going to read out, and he's not the only one. There's a few people who say it. Neil White in my comments on YouTube always, hi Neil, you'll probably be the first one to comment on this one, but you always say, continue the protests, Fosun out, blah, blah, blah. But this tweet said, gonna say it again, look at how far backwards the owners have taken us in 5 years, yet one good performance enough for the fan groups to cancel all protests, all momentum has gone, and that's it now. It's okay though, because they'll have a lovely meeting with Nathan. So, just to respond to that, because obviously, yes, us fan groups, including me for the 77 club I'm going for, are meeting Nathan Shee. We were meant to meet Jeff Shee. This is all, everyone knows this, because of how bad things had gone. Just to say as well, the trust, the 1877 trust, I've already met Nathan Shee, and apparently it was a much more pleasant meeting with Nathan. That's what I'm hearing. So, look, we've got a lot of questions going into it. We're not going to just completely ignore how bad the club has been run over the last few years. But for me personally, and I think you know this if you've watched this channel enough, I wanted first and foremost for Jeff Shee to be removed from his position. I think he was a major problem as to why we've failed so much over the last few years. Yes, of course, the sell-to-buy model is a huge issue too, but I think if you have the right people in place, that model can work. It can, but we just didn't, did we? And Jeff wasn't leaning on the right people to make that a success, in my opinion. So he left. So I'll be honest, I was happy. I was happy that Jeff Shee left. Bit concerning that they've just put in another Fosun employee, but we already knew that would be the case if Jeff Shee did go, because Jeff said that himself in one of the old trust meetings. Now, are Fosun still interested in Wolves? There'd be a lot of questions towards Nathan Shee. And do you know what? Comment below what you would ask him, because I'll put it to the other lads, and if we've missed it, we'll obviously bring it up in the meeting that's going to take place soon. All the big ones are there. We've covered all the main concerns, I think. But why have the protests stopped? Because things have improved a little bit. Let's be honest. Nathan Shee come in. We've got to give him time, and actions do speak louder than words. We've got to give him time to see what he does. It's a weird situation. Form turned round as well. This January window for me is a funny one. Admittedly, I thought more would happen. I thought we'd have more players in preparing for the Championship next season. But at the same time, I've got to praise the club because we are standing firm on the value of our players. We're not just selling them easily. We could easily have just got rid of Strand Larsen for 30 million. We could easily have just accepted Besiktas's offers straight away, which allegedly they've pulled out of now because Wolves are standing firm. They don't want to pay the money. But I'd rather us get the money we want for players and just sell them for no reason, just to get people in. Do you know what I mean? But it does make the summer window massively more important if we don't get much business done this January, like if players don't go, because you would imagine that those players I've just mentioned will go for cheaper in the summer. Now, this is why the protests have stopped at the moment, because we've got to see what happens now with Nathan Shee in charge. It's meant to be an interim basis. I believe it won't be. I believe he'll be sticking around for a while. But if things start, like, we've got to judge him at the end of this January window and then see what they do in the summer. That's when I think you've got to judge him, because at the moment, I think Nathan Shee, in the short time he's been here, has come across quite well. And fair play to him as well for meeting the fan groups who are behind the protest, because there are individuals within us who have been very critical of Fosun. He could have easily done what Jeff did and said no, although Jeff did change his mind just before he left, by the way, but then eventually, as I said, that didn't happen. So if we're not happy with this meeting, by the way, if the fan groups are not happy with what comes out of this meeting when we ask the questions about the Wolves' future long and short term, the protests will continue. They will. They'll be back on. It'll be Fosun out. But for me personally, I'm grateful for what Fosun have done, especially at the beginning. I've said this before. I just wanted Jeff Shee out first and foremost, because I just believe if Fosun do just want to keep us, a well-run club in terms of we're not going to be in massive trouble, and then it's sell to buy and self-sustainable. I do want to see a bit more ambition, admittedly. I've sometimes pumped some money in when we're pushing towards top six or something. In years gone by, they haven't done that. And also, I do want them to see them put their hands in their pockets to make sure we do come back up next season from the Championship in the summer window. So if none of that happens, so the protests will start again. And then it will be very heavily Fosun out from the fan groups, from all fans. Because look, people have certain things to say about the fan groups, but at the end of the day, every single one of them, whether it's a podcast, a news page, a YouTube channel, we've all got the same thing in mind. We love the club Wolves, and we want to see the club do the best it possibly can. And you can put differences aside. It hasn't been all smooth sailing in the group. You know, we don't agree on everything, but what we do agree on is that we want the club to improve. We want Fosun to tell us what the plan is and whether they still care, and that we're in good hands for the future, and we don't just start going down, 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 go stale, and then what we thought was going to be an amazing time under Fosun when they first come in just ends up being a disaster. A lot of the older generation for me are very, very critical. The ones that are like witnessed the Batty era and that, they always think the younger generation are a bit soft, and that's why the processes have stopped. They're soft. They've just fell for the trick of Fosun of just replacing Jeff Shee, and you know that's it. They've won. Fosun have won. They've got everyone to calm down. But like I said, you've got to give Nathan Shee time to show that things will actually change. I personally like Rob Edwards. A lot of people are still critical. I really do like Rob Edwards. He wants to be here. I believe he can get us back up next season if he's backed correctly. I really do. He's shown in recent times, I know he lost to City, but he's shown in this recent run he can do things right. So yeah, the answer to the question is the protests will come back if we're not happy with the meeting that's come in. And as I said, the trust have already met because they have to meet the trust. It's like a Premier League rule. And apparently it was a much brighter experience with Nathan Shee there. So yeah, when the meeting's done, which is taking place soon, obviously all the fan groups will put out a statement of how it went. And when I can, and when it's all agreed that we can do our own thing, because every fan group will talk about their experience in the meeting on their podcast or YouTube channel, then on here I will give my experience of how it went and how I found Nathan Shee and the people around him and things like that. So yeah, hope that clears it up, because I have seen a lot of people start saying, where's the protest gone? Like, it's crazy. So, but please like the video. Please subscribe if you're new. Please comment your thoughts down below on this issue. And yeah, I'll catch you next video, which hopefully is news about people coming in the last week or so of this January transfer window. Cheers, everyone.